Namaste, everyone. My name is Russ Thompson, Recreation Cultural Specialist for Clark County Parks and Recreation. Thank you so much for joining me for today's chair yoga class. For those of you who want a little bit more of an intermediate or advanced type of class, feel free to use a mat during this time. But again, this class, even if you are an intermediate or advanced practitioner, using a chair is great too, because it really can focus on your form, and you can also learn to hold different poses with a chair. So again, this class is suitable for all levels of practitioners. So thank you so much for joining me today. So for today's class, besides either a chair or a mat, I highly recommend you grab 2 blocks and a yoga strap. Now, if you don't have 2 blocks, I highly recommend you can use packaging boxes or books as a solid substitute. Or, when regarding the yoga strap, a resistance band, a long hand towel, or an old belt will also suffice. So once again, thank you so much for joining me here today. And wherever you are, we'll find a nice, comfortable seated position. If you're on your mat, if you like to lie on your back like you're in Shavasana, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So wherever you are, just find a nice, comfortable seated position or laying down position, wherever you're at. And if you are indeed though sitting in a seated position, maybe try to feel how your sit bones are feeling. Now, your sit bones are essentially the bony things in your bottom. We want to make sure you're sitting nice and even on on your prop or on the mat or on your chair. And then from there, because yoga does start from the ground up, so we're going to root from our seat and then lengthen up to the crown of your head. So really elongate the spine. It's really elongating the vertebrae in the spine. So the vertebrae are those bony things running up and down the spine. And maybe from here, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And then we'll just sigh the breath out, H-ah sound, let go. Good. And then on every inhalation and exhalation that we make today, I like to do it in counts of 4. So on your inhale, deep breath, feel the breath expand across the chest. Now your exhale, sigh it out. And during this time, if you want to close the eyes, you're more than welcome to do so. So here we go, nice inhale and exhale out in through the nose, out through the mouth. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Sigh it out, H-ah sound. Good. Now, if you like to continue to breathe out through the mouth, feel free to do so. Otherwise, if you are able to keep the lips sealed, and we're going to move into what we call our Ujjayi breath, or as I like to call it, our fire breathing or Darth Vader breathing. So this Ujjayi breath, well, first of all, Ujjayi is a Sanskrit term for fire breathing breath. So if you hear me ever say a term that's not in English, it's called Sanskrit, which is an Indian yoga vocabulary that we use in the yoga practice. And again, on your exhale, you keep the lips sealed. You're going to breathe out through the nose and send the breath straight down towards your pelvis. So you're not letting the belly puff out on the exhale. So you're sending it straight down, up and down your belly to up to the nose, through the chest, up to the chest to the nose. And so imagine your breath going up and down like an elevator shaft. Now, at any time you do need to exert any air out through the mouth, especially if you have an allergy issue or breathing issue, you make a little bit of a peephole through the lips or breathe out the mouth again. The reason why we keep the lips sealed is to create more heat in our system, and it also helps to reduce stress as well. So by creating more heat in our system, we can expand deeper into poses, and also by closing the lips, it can brings our heart rate down to a more calm sense. So you can use that tip on or off in or out of your yoga practice. So take a few more rounds of breath, just like you are. And as we're taking a few more rounds of breath, maybe make an intention for today's practice, because yoga isn't just about holding shapes, it's about coming together as a community, because yoga means union or community. So it allows us to become more humble, learn new things, grow as a person. Because again, yoga isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. We build upon our practice. So maybe send some love light energy out towards a family member, friend, neighbor, spouse, first responder. Just focus on the present moment. And wherever you are, the breath side out, H-ah sound, let go. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale, let it out. And blink the eyes open. Okay, so if you are on your back, you'll remain on your back, but you're gonna take your left leg will remain stretched outward, but then take the strap to the sole of the right foot. If you are seated on your chair, you're gonna follow along as I am here, where the left knee will be over the left ankle, and then regardless if you're on your back or in your chair, grab onto both ends of the strap like so, and gently pull the strap, gently being the key word, gently pull into the strap with the right, so that the right leg moves towards the right hip socket. Now from here, what you're gonna do is flex to wherever your leg is, flex the toes towards your kneecap so it activates the hamstring and also protects the knee joint as well. Don't forget to breathe. Good. And for whether you are on your backs or in your seat, you're going to take you can take your right hand to your your left hand to your left hip crease if you're seated, onto the top left thigh or the side if you're on your back, and then begin to tick-tock the leg out to your right. Now, if you're on your back and you feel your left sit bone coming off the floor, you've gone too far, so bring the leg back to a little bit more inward to neutral position. Otherwise, what you're going to do is, again, regardless of where you're at, flex the toes, keep reaching out to the right heel. Now, anytime when a leg is lifted, I don't worry so much especially if you're seated like this. I don't mind how high the leg lifts. I worry about the integrity of your low back. So again, focus on just being where you're at, whatever's most comfortable for you. Good. On your next inhale, bring the leg to neutral. And on the exhale, lower the leg down. We're doing the same thing, switching sides. Let's bring the strap to the sole of the left foot, the leg out. So if you're seated, right knee over right ankle. On your backs, again, lengthen out, regardless of whether you're on your back or not, lengthen out through that left heel, flex the toes. Gently pull the strap inward towards the left hip socket. So the leg moves towards the left hip socket. From here, whether you're seated or not, take both ends of the strap in the left hand and begin to tick-tock it out to the left. And if you're on your back, so free to take the right hand to the right thigh or to the floor to kind of help anchor you a little bit if you like. And again, if you're on your backs, just feel where that right sit bone is. If you need to bring it back to neutral, you can, but regardless of where the foot is, keep reaching out to that left heel. Wherever you're at, bring the leg back to neutral on your inhale, and exhale, lower the leg down. Okay, so give yourself a nice little shake. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to make our way into tabletop position if you're on your mats. For those of you who are on your seats, we're gonna do a different variation of cat-cow. So if you're on your mats, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and begin to move your vertebrae, your spine one vertebrae at a time. For those of you who are seated, Again, we're gonna make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. You're gonna take the arms out wide like a T shape, okay? And again, we're gonna engage the core. Now your core, again, is where your belly button will move. Your core is your abdominals, obliques, and low back. To engage it, we suck the navel to our low back, so this whole band is moving is here, okay? So we're really getting a lot more strength and stability by doing this. And so from here, invite a little bit of a back bend on your inhale, and exhale, bring everything through around the spine and curl through, kind of arch your back like a cat. Inhale, bring it back nice and smooth. Exhale and curl through. Keep it going a few more rounds just like so. Or go to the rhythm of your own breath. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you're going out throughout this entire practice, I'm merely your guide. Listen to what best is for you and your body. And again, if you want to take your arms out to a diagonal or even full field goal posts, you can do that as well, your choice. Good. Whenever you're ready, we'll come to a nice neutral spine. And we'll sigh the breath out, Isha sound. Good. Inhale. Exhale, let it out. Good. Now, at any time, if you feel like you need to take a child's pose, have a seat, get some water, feel free to do so. Again, take as many breaks as you like. Please listen to your body. And again, yoga is for everybody. I stress the term body, everybody. Okay, it doesn't matter if you are 2 years old or 99 years old. Yoga is for every body, shape, size, you name it, you got it. So from here, if you're on your mats, you're gonna turn the back toes, your knees will lift and find downward facing dog. For those of you who are standing, you're going to come up to stand. For those of you who are in your chair, come up to stand. I'm turning my chair around here so you can see a little bit better. And you're going to be about a foot distance away from the front lip of where your chair is to where the front lip of the chair is and where you're at. So from here, you're going to gently take a forward fold. Grab on both ends of the chair, and then from here take one foot back, then the front of the other foot will meet the back foot. Now, from here what you want to do is, you'll know if you're holding it right, that you will shift the weight back. So when you shift the weight back, you should feel a nice hamstring stretch going, so your hips should be over your knees and over your ankles. And what you want to do is you want to turn the triceps in. Your triceps are the back part of your arm muscle, so biceps are here, triceps are here, and that'll help, when you're drawing that in, it'll help you to shift back even further. Now, whether you're on your mat or you're using the chair, feel free to give your head a shake yes or no. Maybe lift one heel off the floor at a time. If you have any low back issues or tight hamstrings, you can even take your feet as wide as your hips or as wide as your mat if you're using a mat. Good, so I'm going to give two options here. Option one, you're going to remain in downward facing dog, or we're going to move into what we call plank pose. So again, at any point, if you'd like to modify, you don't have to do anything that may be intermediate or advanced to you, okay? Do what feels best for you and your body. You're going to if you are going to move into what we call plank, and if you can take your feet hip distance apart, energize the core, and begin to shift into plank. So it really energize the heels, and engage the core. And then on your exhale, you're going to shift to downward facing dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Do it one more time. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Sigh the breath out, H-ah sound, let it all go. Good, bend the knees, inhale. And then exhale, walk, step hop to the front of your mat, stay low, or chairs, stay low. Into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Now, before we make our way up to stand, we are going to do a little bit of a hip opener here. So I'm going to give options. Option one is, so you're going to take your feet hip distance apart and you're going to move into what we call football stance. So you're going to take the hand, you can take your one hand to head, the other hand to the chair or to the floor, okay? And then just try to get that your hips line up with knees. So you can stay here or come here, which is fine. For those of you who are able to, or more intermediate advanced practitioners, you can move into what we call Garland Pose. So Garland Pose is you're going to kind of come to a baseball catcher position, okay? And then what you're going to do is you don't just let your tailbone drop down to the floor. You press up through the feet. So as your tailbone drops, you press up through the feet. Maybe even take the elbows to the inner part of the thighs to open up. Move the chest through the upper body, up through here. Okay. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. And your choice, if you did take this variation, which I'm showing here, you're going to, you can either use your pelvic floor so that your core strength and your pelvis is helping you pop back up, or take the hands to the floor and press up. And now we're moving into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. So from here, you can kind of hold your arms and kind of go into like a ragdoll pose. You can take your hands to opposite elbows. Maybe wrap the arms around the legs, rock from side to side. And remember, if I say a term that's not in English, it's called Sanskrit. So Sanskrit, once again, is an Indian yoga terms that we use in the yoga practice. And I'll do my best to translate if I do say a term. And wherever you are, we'll take the hands tips in our forward fold, and we'll come up one vertebra at a time. The crown of the head will be the last thing to come up to the ceiling. All right, so from here, we will find our way into Tadasana, mountain pose. So mountain pose, again, it's basically like the blueprint of all standing poses. So what we're doing here is just try to keep equal weight in both feet. Maybe close the eyes and check in with your intention if you did decide to make one for today's practice. Good. Sigh the breath out, H-ah sound. Inhale. Exhale it out. And blink the eyes open. Okay, so we're going to take a couple rounds of sun salutations. We'll build upon our practice from there. So from here, again, if you're using a chair, be about a foot distance away from you in your seat. So on your inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Exhale, lengthen out and fold forward. Inhale, Ardha, halfway lift. Fold forward, exhale. Press up, reach your eyes, coming all the way up. And hands come to heart center. Good, 2 more times, here we go. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, lengthen out and fold forward. If you have tight hamstrings, feel free to bend the knees. Inhale, Ardha. Ardha means half, so shoulder blades back, neck long. Fold forward, exhale. Press up, reach your eyes, coming all the way up. And hands come to heart center. Good, last one. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold forward, exhale. Press up, come up to rise, nice and smooth. hands come to heart center. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more movement now, so here we go. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, right leg remains forward, left leg kicks back, low lunge. So you have options. If you're on your mats, place the hands to the floor or to the blocks. You can also place your hands to the chair like I'm doing right now. Now, if you do place your hands on anything, you want to keep the hands nice and light. We're not slamming any weight down onto our prop. And then maybe take the right from the right hip crease and gently draw that hip back. Okay? Now from here, you have options. Option one, feel free to stay right here, which is completely fine. Option two, you're gonna come up more into a true runner's lunge. Okay, and we're gonna kind of just a few times, we're gonna kind of move into kind of work the shoulders a little bit, and kind of looks like we're actually kind of running almost. It's kind of staying balanced, but yet it's moving the arms kind of like underhand, one bit at a time, just a couple rounds like this. So those are your options. Stay, grab on the mat or the chair, or rotate here a couple more times. And then from here, you're going to place your hands back down to either the chair or the floor. And again, if you need to drop the back knee to the floor, especially if you're on a mat, feel free to do so. And from here, what you're going to do is we're going to move into what we call easy twist. So if you're using your chair, regardless of where you're at, but if you're using a chair, you're going to place your left hand to the bottom left corner of your seat. Wherever you're at, you want to make sure joint lines on top of joint, so left shoulder with left wrist. And that goes for anything. Anytime you take it, you're in your yoga, you're doing anything health fitness related, when in doubt, joint lines on top of joint. And we're going to take an easy twist here while the front knee's bent. Now we twist with our core, never our shoulders, so navel to low back and press up. So right arm reaches the ceiling. If you're able to, look up to the ceiling, but if you have a neck issue, look to the side or to the floor. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Top hand comes down, and then your choice. The front foot, when the front foot meets the back foot, you can either A, move into downward facing dog, or B, take what we call a Vinyasa or Chaturanga. It's a synonym, they're synonyms. What that means is that you can move to a plank position, engage the core, okay, and then lower the body to the height of the elbows. And on your inhale, you're going to move the chest through the arms, tuck the toes through for upward facing dog. Press that up, nice and smooth. Activate the legs. And then exhale, make your way back into downward facing dog. Okay, again, completely optional. You don't have to do anything intermediate or advanced today. Again, I'm merely your guide, so please listen to your bodies. Okay, from here, the right leg's going to lift up, and then the right leg's going to come forward, okay? Find that lunge position. We're going to do what we call one breath, one motion here. So if you're on the mat, the back knee will come to the floor, but if you're on the chair, remain upward. Now your inhale, the arms will come up. Exhale, hands down. Back foot meets the front foot, staying low in Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold forward, exhale. Press up with your eyes coming all the way up. Hands come to heart center. All right, here we go. So we're going to do the second side now. So here we go. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, Ardha halfway lift. And the left leg will remain forward. The right leg kicks back. So again, we're in this lunge position here. Energize the legs. Don't forget to breathe and smile. Okay? Again, we're only holding shapes. And if you're able to, find runner's lunge. Maybe take that left on the left, hip crease, draw it back. And if you'd like to, again, you can keep the hands to your props, on the props, but maybe go take that runner's lunge action, kind of moving the arms forward and back. And after a few rounds, place the hands down. And we're going to take that easy twist again. So the right hand will come to the bottom right-hand corner of your chair. You are using the chair. Pressing up through the right hand, twisting with the core, the left arm comes up. And you're pressing down so your head isn't sinking in, you're pressing up. Deep breath in. Exhale, top hand down. Front foot meets the back foot, and again, your choice. You can go to down dog or take a vinyasa flow. Your choice. Good, left leg lifts, inhale. And then exhale, foot between the hands or comes up. And then again, if you're on your mat, back knee comes to the floor. If you're up by your chair, remain here. And we're gonna take one breath, one motion. So inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Back foot meets the front foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold forward, exhale. Press up with your eyes, coming all the way up. Hands come to heart center. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do next is we're going to take, move into, we're take one Surya Namaskar A. So sun salutation A. So basically, we're going to forward fold and move it right into a down dog or a chaturanga here. So here we go. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha, halfway lift. And then exhale, down dog, optional vinyasa, your choice. Bend the knees, inhale. Exhale, walk, step, pop to the front of your mat or chair. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold forward, exhale. Root your eyes, coming all the way up. Good, and hands come to heart center. Okay, so while we are standing up here like so, what we're going to do is this. We're going to kind of take a little bit of a wide-legged forward fold twist. So what's going to happen from here is you're going to find what we call your star pose shape. So star pose is essentially kind of helps us with our alignment. So wrists are going to be over ankles. So that kind of helps us with how long our stride is when it comes to holding different poses like Warrior 1, Warrior 2, etc. Okay, so kind of find your star pose here, and you can, if for those of you who may not need the chair, you can use a block instead to substitute for this. So again, for those of you who are more intermediate advanced, feel free to use a block, but the same purpose will go here with the chair that I'm showing you. So what's going to happen is you're going to take your wide-legged forward fold, and then place the hand onto your prop, so when you're looking down, your face is right above your hand. Okay. So actually, what we're going to do is we'll take the right hand to the prop, and then again we twist from the core. Remember that. So again, navel to low back, really pressing hard into your prop. You want to have a nice kind of a flat back as best as possible. I know if you're up on the chair, you may be relatively high, but this is a really good starting point for those of you who are more at the beginning level of your practice. And from here, kind of take your left hand to your low back. Kind of see how your hips are. Maybe one hip swaying from one side or the other, but you want to try to keep them as balanced as possible. And then maybe if you're able to, if you have a healthy enough shoulder, so you can either A, keep the hand here, we're going to twist up, or take the left hand out to the side, so left shoulder lines up with the left wrist, press up through your prop, and tick-tock up. Now from here, remember, if you have a neck issue, look to the side or to the floor, okay? Good, hold for 3, 2, and 1. Top hand comes down. Give yourself a little shake. Okay, and then from here what's going to happen is you're going to take the left hand to your prop now, and then the right hand to the low back. Make sure everything's kind of nice and even keeled. And what will happen here is your right, so again, make sure everything's nice and balanced, press up to the prop, right hand out to the side, and then tick-tock up. And again, you're pressing down and away. You don't want your neck sinking into the shoulder. You want to keep your neck nice and fluid. Deep breath in. Exhale, top hand comes down. Take hands to hips. Slowly come up one vertebrae at a time. Good. And then walk the feet in. For those of you who would like to, so a couple options here. You can take a child's pose, have a seat, get some water. Do what feels best for you. Again, at any time during the practice, if you need to take extra breaks, feel free to take extra breaks. All right, so from here we're going to make our way back to Tadasana, mountain pose. So what will happen is that we're going to come to the front part of the chair or the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, down dog, optional Vinyasa if you choose. The right leg's going to will lift up and then come forward. We're going to find our way back into that, we're going to find our way into Warrior One here in a few moments. So from here, come up nice and tall and find that star-shaped pose that we were working on earlier. And what's going to happen here is that, again, wrists over ankles, make sure we're nice and solid. And again, if you need to, when we're holding these poses, if you feel like you'd rather feel more comfortable coming to the side of your chair and holding on the chair for balance, if you're using a chair, that's completely fine. But from here though, I'm going to be doing a side demo here, and if you want to do it like this way, you're more than welcome to do that. But regardless, the front heel is going to line up with either your back heel or back inner arch. So imagine like an imaginary line drawing from that spot, and the back toes are going to point towards the top, the front corner of your chair or the top left corner of your mat. So from here, your torso is going to point forward, front knee bends, take the arms up, and we're in Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. And we call this Warrior 1 because we look like a 1. Deep breath, inhale here. And then exhale, take hands to heart. Your right arm is going to pitch forward, the left arm is going to go back, Warrior 2. Okay? So relax the shoulders away from the ears, reach to those fingers. So again, the lower half of our body really stayed the same, but most of the upper half is what changed. So look down the front fingers. Don't forget to breathe. Good, deep breath here. And then exhale, hands to the chair or to your mat. And then from here, move into downward facing dog or take a flow. Left leg lifts, inhale. And then exhale, left foot through. Right heel back. Again, front heel blends with back heel or back arch. Again, find that strike zone. Either way is fine. Most of the body weight in the back leg, front knee still bent. Come up, warrior one. Good, deep breath here. Exhale, hands to heart. Left arm forward, right arm back, warrior two. Good, deep breath here. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Front foot meets the back foot. Go right to down dog, or take a flow. Your choice. Okay, so from here, if you are using your chair, you're going to bend the knees and then walk step opposite in front of your mat with both feet. For those of you who are standing, or excuse me, I'm sorry, using a mat, the right leg will lift up and then bring the front foot forward. Take your time. We're going to eventually find yourself into warrior one. So for those of you who are using a chair, what you want to do is kind of stand up towards the middle, in the middle part of your chair here. So you're in between the middle parts of both bars. And what's going to happen is that the right foot's going to remain exactly where it's at. And if you want to bring a block, if you have a block with you, you can bring that keep that nearby the front lip of your chair. But the right foot will remain right where it's at. The left leg will kick out. Okay? And then from here, because we're gonna eventually we're gonna add on from warrior one, warrior two, and move into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So from here, the right foot's gonna turn out to the side, the left foot turns in. Okay, so we're gonna find, if you need that, find that star shape, go for it. But when you're ready, turn the back quad in, front knee bends, come up, warrior one. Good, deep breath here. Exhale, go right to warrior two. And again, we call this warrior two, two arms extended out, or Virabhadrasana two. And from here, bring the front leg to a micro bend. Now, micro bend means we're not locking our joints. We're just kind of bending it, keeping it like at a 99% straight. So we're bending it a smidge just to keep the fluidity of the joints going, okay? Now we're going to move into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So if you want, you can use a block instead of a chair because our bottom hand eventually will go to one of these areas. Maybe you don't need a block. It's entirely up to you, okay? But regardless of what option you're going to take, you're going to take the arm, engage the core, keep this nice and stable, this band around our body, and it sends energy through and strength through our body. Take the arms out wide, okay? And then right arm pitches forward, your left hip will go back, and then right hand to the chair or up. Maybe the right hand comes to the floor or to the block. Now, my personal preference is hand to outer edge of the foot, but if you want to keep it to the inner, that's fine. So really pressing the ball of the right foot so the top arm is nice and light. Again, if you need to look to the side or to the floor, you can. If you did take your hand to the floor or to the block, gently press up. Maybe take the hand to the chair if you're using it. Come up nice and smooth. Now, if you're standing up with the chair like so, and you needed this, all you're going to do is you're going to turn your feet in and walk the feet in, And then for those of you who are on your mats, feel free to pivot the feet so that you can make your way into downward facing dog. You'll meet us on the second side. So again, we'll all eventually find warrior one, okay? So from here, what you're going to do is, if you're standing by the chair here, again, if you need to block, feel free to do so. The left foot will remain right in the middle. The right leg kicks out. Now, what will happen from here is that, again, make sure star shape. The left foot points forward. That right foot makes a little bit of that check mark position. Find warrior one. Good. Deep breath here. The next he'll go right to Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Good. Inhale, bring the front leg to a micro bend. Then the left arm pitches forward, right hip pitches back. Left hand to the chair or to a block or to the floor. The right arm goes up. Triangle pose. Trikonasana. Don't forget to breathe. If you did indeed take the bottom hand to the floor, begin to press your way back up to stand. If you need the chair for balance and stability, come on up. For those of you who are worked on your way on your mat, windmill the hands down, take a down dog. For those of you who are standing up, turn the feet in, walk the feet in. And then everybody from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna eventually make our way. So if you're on your mats, you're going to take the right foot forward when you're ready. So take the right leg up from down dog and transfer it through. We're gonna find warrior one again. Keep your blocks handy with you as well. For those of you who are using a chair, okay, right foot's gonna come forward, okay, and we're all gonna find, and keep the front, set your chair up like I am here, because we're gonna eventually move into what we call pyramid pose. So from here, you're going to come up, let's all find warrior one. Good. From here, we'll bring the front leg to that micro bend like we were talking about earlier with triangle. Take the right thumb to right hip crease, gently draw that back so the hips are square. Now, your choice. There's two options. Regardless of what option you take, we're going to take a little bit of a back bend here before we move into our forward fold. A, again, engage the core. So A, hands can come, you will eventually melt to the chair, blocks, or no blocks. Or B, if you feel like you need a little bit of a shoulder opener for you today, you're going to take your hands into, your feet will remain where the same. I'm just turning this way so you can see, into either fist bumps or reverse namaste prayer hands to open up the shoulders. So your choice. I'm going to just show the basic variation of it, but again, if you do take the reverse prayer hands or fist bumps, you will still have to pitch forward and fold while holding that pose. But again, I'm going to come here just to keep it basic and simple. So again, melt the chest toward the upper thigh, weight still in the back leg. Good. Begin to slowly make your way back up, nice and smooth. Okay, so for those of you who are on your chair, you're just going to turn the feet in, walk the feet in. For those of you who are on your mats, please pivot and bend the front knee and pivot so where you can make your way to down dog, take a vinyasa if you like, and make your way into the left side for warrior one. So the chair, again, just, if you're on the chair, just switching sides here, okay? And then when you're ready, pop up, nice and smooth. Again, kind of check your balance if you need to, take the stride. If you need to take the star shape, that's fine too. Good. Inhale up in the front leg to micro bend wherever you're at. Again, if you're a step or two behind me, it's okay. No worries. Take your time. The left front knee to a micro bend. The left thumb gently pulls back. Okay, squares the hips up. And again, whether you're going to take reverse prayer, or fist bump hands or reverse prayer hands and fold, or take the hands to the blocks, to the chair, or to the floor, your choice. Begin to transfer into pyramid. Again, take your hands in any variation you like. Ideally, you want the hands to line up the shoulders, especially if you're taking them to the floor. Okay, your choice. Good. For this, we'll all begin to bring our way back up, nice and smooth. And for those of you who are on your mats, from here, take a down dog or vinyasa, and you will meet us. We'll all meet in what we call crescent lunge. For those of you who are using the chair, go up nice and smooth. And what you're going to do next is we're going to come to the back part of your chair, okay? And we are going to hold crescent lunge. After we hold crescent lunge, we're going to move into what we call Virabhadrasana 3 or Warrior 3, okay? So for those of you who, again, crescent lunge essentially is almost like Warrior 1, except you're on the ball of the back foot. If you have a toe issue or anything related to where you can't go on the ball of the back foot, just hold Warrior 1. That's completely fine, okay? Otherwise, what you're going to do is come on the ball of the back foot, draw those, even though your toes are pointing forward, hug your shins in. So think kind of like almost like your tree pose almost, where you're hugging everything in, and you pop the arms up. And if you need to hang on to the chair, if you're using a chair for stability and balance, that's fine. Okay? Good. And from here, we're going to take the hands to the chair. Now, this pike position where I'm at right now is for those who have never really taken Warrior 3 before and really need the extra balance. You can, if you want, take the hands down here for stability. You may not even, or you can even take the hands to blocks when we lift up. You may not even need blocks. You may be able to take the arms forward to the side or backward to the side or forward. But essentially, it's kind of like you're going to be taking all that weight in the back leg, okay? And then you're going to pop up and hold. So some of you, again, maybe here, where you can really press up and lengthen out the back leg and hold like this. Again, we're lengthening through the heel like we did with our strap earlier. Maybe here, maybe arms out, your choice. Safety first, breathe, hold for 3, 2, and 1. If you're able to, find crescent lunge again. If you need to bring the bottom leg, the lifted leg forward and take a break, take a break. Hold for 3, 2. For those of you who are on your mats, if you're able to, take a down dog or vinyasa. For those of you who are standing with a chair, shake it out. If you need to have a seat, get some water, feel free to do so. but eventually we will make our way to the second side. All right, so for those of you who did take down dog, the left leg will lift, inhale, and then you're going to bring the left leg forward. Again, warrior one, ideally crescent lunge, but to modify, take warrior one, your choice. Good. From here, we're going to begin to tick-tock, bringing that weight forward. Again, you need to keep the weight, chair height like this. Go for it. If you need to, if you feel uncomfortable, or would rather prefer using the blocks, chair, no blocks, again, yoga's for everybody. We build upon our practice. So you're going to tick-tock, bring the weight up, lengthen that back heel out. So it's kind of like a seesaw almost. So your head and the back heel are like a seesaw. So when you're on a when we were on a playground, if you rode a seesaw, you kind of tick-tock like this. So your head is one seat and your lifted heel is the opposite seat. So everything should be nice, one smooth plane. Again, you can maybe hang on the chair or not. Hold for 3, 2, and if you're able to, gently, you can land back into crescent lunge. If you need to drop it back forward, you can. Take a deep breath in. And if you're standing with the chair, hands to hips, back foot meets the front foot. Otherwise, take a down dog or vinyasa if you're using your mat. And from here, for those of you who are using a chair, we'll have a seat. Okay? And for those of you who are on your mats, the right leg will lift up and then you'll send it through, and then you can either hold half pigeon, single pigeon, double pigeon, or thread the needle. For those of you who are seated in a chair like I am here, we're going to take seated pigeon. So there's 2 variations of this. The true variation is the left. We're going to lift the right leg up first. The left knee will go over the left ankle and the right leg will come up like so. And wherever the leg goes, I'm going to explain the second option here in a moment. But the toes, no matter if you're in single pigeon, half pigeon, or this variation, or the modified version I'm going to show you, flex the toes to the knee, to the right knee, right toes to right knee, to activate the hamstrings and protect the kneecap. Okay? Now, if you've had a severe hip issue or hip surgery, and you can't bring your leg up like this, or if your leg is at a diagonal like so, please modify and bring the top leg up like so. Extend both legs out. And then the right toes will again flex here. Okay, and one hip may be more tighter than the other. About 90% of the human population has one hip that's tighter than the other, okay? So, from here, either, again, coming up here or modifying. And then without forcing anything, okay, make sure you're nice and even on your seat. On your inhale, you're gonna lengthen the arms up and reach out and fold forward. Try to melt the chest to the thigh if you're sitting like I am. Again, don't force anything. Okay, for those of you who are on your mats, you'll slowly, if you did take single pigeon, you'll walk the hands forward towards your top shin. Bend to half pigeon. If you're in half pigeon, begin to tuck the back toes, front leg lifts, take down dog or vinyasa. For those of you who are in double pigeon or thread the needle, if you want to take a down dog, that's fine. Otherwise, just cross and switch legs. For those of you who are seated, you're going to send the arms forward and up. And then you're going to take your hands to heart, and we're going to do the same thing, switch sides. Okay, so now you're in down dog, left leg lifts. Eventually, shin will come through, and then again, take whatever variation you took on the first side if you're on your mats. For those of you who are seated like I am, again, either come up like so, or modify, your choice. Okay? So again, flex the toes, whatever, if they are in this position or in this position. And then inhale, lift up. Lengthen out, reach out, and fold forward. If you are in single pigeon, you're gonna walk your hands up to half pigeon, and then again, the front leg lifts, the back toes will tuck, front leg lifts, last down dog of the day, of the class. For those of you who are seated in double pigeon, thread the needle. You can take a vinyasa or down dog if you like, or you can make your way onto your backs. Otherwise, for you who are seated, you're gonna reach the arms forward and up. And take the hands to heart, release the bind. And for those of you who are in down dog right now, eventually take your time, make your way onto your backs. And from here, what we're gonna do is, for those of you who are on your backs, take a little bit of a supine twist. So you hug the knees, chest, and legs out to the right. For those of you who are seated, you're gonna sit comfortably towards the end of your chair. You're gonna press down away into the back part of your seat to help lengthen up the spine. The left hand will go to the outer edge of the right leg. So on your inhale, you're gonna lengthen up, and every exhale, gently twist. If you're able to look over the right shoulder, do so. Again, don't force anything, just twist from the core. Nice, easy twist here. Subtle twist. Good. If you are on your backs in the supine twist, bring the knees up to neutral and switch sides. And for those of you who are seated, we're going to gently take the gaze forward, undo the bind, and then do the same thing, switch sides. So the right hand comes to the outer edge of the left leg. Press down away to the back part of the chair with the left hand, press up, lengthen up, and then the right hand to the outer edge of the leg to help twist nice and smooth. Again, we're not forcing anything. We're not turning into the Tasmanian devil or a tornado. Just nice, subtle twist. If you are on your backs with a supine twist, make your way into a happy baby if you like. For those of you who are seated like I am, you're going to bring the gaze to neutral, and we're going to take a nice forward fold here. So on an inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Exhale and fold. Just kind of hang here for a couple moments. For those of you who are seated, slowly make your way up to sit. And for our final rests, if you would like, if you are seated in a chair, you can sit up like I am comfortably. Or if you have an extra chair and you like to place the chair out and extend it for, have your legs have a nice little kickstand, you can do that. For those of you who are on your backs, you can either take traditional Shavasana, where you're just lying in corpse pose. If you know how to take Viparita Karani, which is legs up the wall, which is taking one hip, you're on the floor, take one hip up to the wall and swing the legs up, allowing the blood to drain down towards the knees and further down the legs, you can. Or if you want to sit up in a nice, comfortable seated position and meditate, you're more than welcome to do so. So I'll give you guys you fellow yogis, a few moments to settle in and choose which you like to take. And again, when you find your position, maybe close the eyes. And just relax the face, the jaw, fingers, toes, shoulders. And just sigh the breath out, H-ah sound. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale, side out. Shavasana. To increase the breath. For those of you who would like to remain in your restorative state, feel free to do so. You can stay here as long as you'd like. For those of you who are ready to come out, if you are on your backs, you'll take your arms up and overhead, hug the knees to chest, and eventually make your way up to seat. Maybe in Sukhasana easy pose. For those of you who are seated in a chair, take a deep breath in as the arms go up. Now on your exhale, your hands come to heart center. If you can, try to keep the eyes closed, but if it feels weird or awkward, you can keep them open. We'll bow the chin down for gratitude. Thank you all very much for letting me facilitate your practice today. And again, just build upon your practice, take it one step at a time, building blocks. Again, you don't have to know everything right away. Yet if you learn one new thing during this practice today, the mission accomplished. This is like life in general. If you can learn one new thing during the day, it helps keeps your mind open, fresh, and you can move on and learn new things and open your mind and go into endless possibilities. Because again, Again, live life to the fullest, enjoy life. Don't stress over the small things. Just breathe, take it one step at a time. And again, as spiritual warriors and as a yoga community, we try our best just to do the right things in life, whether it's help our neighbors, help our friends, family. Do the right thing. Don't put yourself first. Sometimes you have to put others first. And again, karma, what goes around comes around. All those small things can go a long way to not only help better yourself, but to better those around you. May all beings everywhere know love and peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.